This is the results video for UFC Vegas 105 Emmet vs Murphy, where we will find out which UFC prediction channels had the most and least correct picks, the highest and lowest return on investment, and which ones are on the longest losing or winning streak. But first, we go over the totals for this event and compare the Oddsmakers versus the Tapology community versus the YouTube prediction channels. On this card there were 12 fights and I tracked predictions from 104 channels that made a total of 1148 predictions, for an average of 11 per channel. A total of 704 predictions were correct for 61.3% and 444 were incorrect for 38.7%. The favorite fighter in odds on this card won 8 out of 12 fights, and if you had placed a $100 bet on all the favorite fighters on this card to win the fight, aka the money line, you would have lost $83 for a minus 6.9% return on investment. The underdogs won 4 out of 12 fights, with 2 small underdogs in Estela Nunes with plus 100 and Bryce McKee with plus 110, and 2 slightly bigger underdogs in Ode Osborne with 205 and Pat Sabatini with plus 165. And had you placed that same $100 bet on all the underdogs, you could have lost $220 for a minus 18.3% ROI. The favorite in picks by the Tapology community won only 6 out of 12 for a loss of $401 and a minus 33.4% return on investment. So they did a lot worse in picking the favorite fighters than the Oddsmakers. What about the UFC prediction channels on YouTube? Well, their favorite in picks were the exact same as the favorite in odds. So the exact same result. Meaning that this week the Oddsmakers and the YouTube prediction channels were the best at predicting the winner of each fight. For the least and most correct picks, we will only look at channels that made picks on at least half of all the fights, so a minimum of 6. In 5th place for least correct picks, we have 5 channels. DFS by the numbers, Haparo MMA, Johnny K Picks, Parlay Princess and Sean from the Running Mouth MMA show. And all 5 of them had 5 out of 11 correct for 45.5%. In 4th place are Harbar MMA and Lightning MMA with 4 out of 9 correct for 44.4%. In 3rd place we have MMA Experts and Sports Betting Hub. They both had 5 predictions correct out of 12 for 42%. In 2nd place is Live It Larry MMA. He had 4 out of 11 predictions correct for a correct pick percentage of 36%. And in 1st place this week for the least correct picks we have Dryball and Once Upon a Slugfest. Both of them had 4 out of 12 correct for 33.3%. Which channels had the most correct picks this week? In 5th place we have these 8 channels. All of them had 9 out of 12 or 6 out of 8 correct for 75%. In 4th place is AsideMMA with 7 out of 9 predictions correct for 78%. In 3rd place is UFC GamblingAddicts. He made 10 predictions and 8 of them were correct for 80%. In 2nd place we have 3 channels, Paul from the Doggle Pass podcast, TigerBomb MMA and Jacob from We Want Picks. And all 3 of them had 9 out of 11 predictions correct for 82%. And in 1st place this week for the most correct picks we have Squeakypuff and the Mike Finch show. Both of them made 12 predictions and 10 of them were correct for a correct pick percentage of 83%. So congratulations to Squeakypuff and the Mike Finch show for having the most correct picks this week. Links to the channels with the most correct picks can be found in the video description. And here is the overview of all 104 channels that made predictions this week, including those that made less than 6 predictions, with their channel name, correct picks, total picks and the correct pick percentage. If you enjoy the content and find it helpful or informative, then don't forget to like this video or subscribe. Thank you so much. For the most profitable and unprofitable predictors this week, we will only track channels that made picks on at least 50% of all the fights, which is 6 for this card. Every pick counts, regardless of confidence level or odds preference. We place a $100 bet on each pick to win their fight, aka the money line. We calculate the results using the odds from the tail of the tape. The rankings are based on the return on investment percentage. Which channels were the most unprofitable this week and had the worst return on investment percentage? At number 10 we have Haparo MMA with a return on investment of minus 38.5% over his 11 predictions. At number 9 is Parlay Princess with a minus 39.4% ROI. At number 8 is Lightning MMA with a return on investment of minus 40% over his 9 predictions. With a difference of 0.1%, we have MMA Experts at number 7 with an ROI of minus 40.1% over his 12 predictions. In 6th place we have 2 channels, DFS by the Numbers and Johnny K Picks. Both of them made the exact same 11 predictions and had a return on investment of minus 42.5%. In 5th place is Hardbar MMA with a return on investment of minus 44.3%. In 4th place is Sports Betting Hub with a return on investment of minus 46.6%. Dryball is in 3rd place. He made 12 predictions and over those 12 predictions he had a return on investment of minus 50.7%. In 2nd place is Once Upon a Slugfest with a return on investment of minus 52.2% over his 12 predictions. And in 1st place this week, the channel with the worst return on investment is Livid Larry MMA. If you followed all of his 11 predictions and placed a $100 bet on each of them for the outcome of the fight, aka the money line, you could have lost $592 for a return on investment of minus 53.8%. Now, let's find out which channels were the most profitable predictors and had the highest return on investment this week. At number 10 we have MMA Joey. He had a return on investment of 20.2% over his 12 predictions. In 9th place we have 2 channels, MMA El Dente and Shmo. Both of them made the exact same 11 predictions for a return on investment of 21.9%. TankTopMMA is at number 8 with a return on investment of 22.6% over his 12 predictions. In 7th place we have TigerBomb MMA. He made 11 predictions and had a return on investment of 24.2%. In 6th place is Sportsbook Killaz with a return on investment of 30.5% over his 8 predictions. Opening the top 5 we have Paul from the Dogger Pass podcast with a 33.7% return on investment over his 11 predictions. In 4th place is Jacob from We Want Picks. He also made 11 predictions and had a return on investment of 34.8%. In 3rd place for most profitable predictor we have Squeakypuff. He made 12 predictions and had a return on investment of 35.1%. In 2nd place is the Mike Finch Show with a return on investment of 36% over his 12 predictions. And in 1st place this week for most profitable predictor with the highest return on investment we have AsideMMA. He made a total of 9 predictions and if you had followed all of them and placed a $100 bet on each of them to win their fight, aka the money line, you could have won $345 for a return on investment of 38.3%. So congratulations to AsideMMA and the rest of the most profitable predictors this week. Links to these channels can be found in the video description. And here is the overview of all 104 channels that I've tracked this week, including those that made less than 6 predictions, with their channel name, the money won or lost, and the return on investment percentage. Which channels are on the longest losing streak and keep losing week after week? The following 12 channels in alphabetical order are on a 3-week losing streak. And out of those 12 channels, 8 of them are on a 4-week losing streak. From those 8 channels, only Greedo Plays, Hardbar MMA and John Kelly DFS are on a 5-week losing streak. Only 2 channels, Greedo Plays and Hardbar MMA, have a 6-week losing streak. But it doesn't stop there and both of them are also on a 7-week losing streak. Which channels are on the longest winning streak? On a 2-week winning streak we have these 21 channels in alphabetical order. And out of those 22 channels, only 6 of them have a 3-week winning streak. And out of those 6 channels, not a single one is on a 4-week winning streak. Hope you enjoyed the results video of the best and worst predictors this week. If you did or found it helpful, drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate it. And if you want to support the channel while getting exclusive updates, consider becoming a Patreon supporter or a member on Buy Me a Coffee. Thank you so much for watching, have a great week and I will see you in the next video.